In this video, we'll explore the range of responses to pain that can be helpful in the short term or the long term. Some of these are more reactionary and some of these are more conscious responses. The first one is dissociation. You can drink too much and pass out. You can sleep too much and be groggy. You can stay up too much and start to hallucinate. You can change your sleep schedule rapidly and create a synthetic jet lag. You can tune out in repetitive thoughts that have nothing to do with the present moment. You can leave the relationship. You can leave the country. You can leave people and head up to the mountains. You can fast. Stop putting food into your body. And all of these things will create a kind of dissociation, as can different psychedelic compounds. But they basically create this kind of awareness that that's that person's life over there, and I'm watching from up here. And the witness is always in less pain than the identity in the body. Empathy is another response, which you can think of it as an electrical current. Another way of looking at it is as a load. You know, there's a continuum of pain, and it's really the continuum of stimulation, right? So down here you have numbness. There's no stimulation, there's no awareness, there's no sound, there's no thought, there's no stimuli. Your sub-awareness. It can be boring. Nothing's happening. As you move up the stimulation continuum, it starts to get enlivening and engaging, positively or negatively. There's engagement, there's interest, there's alertness. You can play a song below the level that you can hear it. You can vaguely hear the high points, turn it up. And there's a volume that is kind of engaging and interesting. Either you hate it or you really like it, but it's at an engaging threshold. And if you keep upping the stimulation, it begins to get uncomfortable. And it begins to get painful. Then it begins to get very painful. And somewhere along here, there is a line. And this line is the point at which it gets so painful that the primary drive, your primary goal, becomes to avoid the pain and avoid the fear of pain, which has reached an unbearable level. Now, by unbearable, I just mean that you do not have the competence, the experience, the confidence to bear that level of stimulation, that level of energy. And so you're going into reaction to avoid it. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to think that. I don't want to have that going on at that level. Get it away from me. So this is the point when response becomes reaction. And the reaction is basically, I'll do anything that I can to avoid this level of pain and to avoid the fear of this level of pain. And anything up beyond that level of pain just intensifies that reaction, intensifies that drive to avoid the pain at all costs. And then somewhere up here in the highest levels of stimulation, you have disintegration, destruction, right? Right. You can think of carrying a load, for example, and There's no load, you don't feel anything, you put a pound on, you put 2 pounds on, you're carrying 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds. Sometime, before you reach 100 pounds, it's feeling pretty heavy. Now, if you keep raising the amount of weight that you put on this hand, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, there's a panic point. I can't take anymore. And if it keeps going higher, 3,000 pounds, you are simply crushed, the bones break, the structure falls apart. There is an intensity of energy that is too much for any system, any pattern to absorb. Whether that's your pattern of identity, your physical pattern, the pattern of your body, right? The pattern of your mind, you just can't absorb the strain. Now, what empathy does is it shares the load. Let's say you get given a 300-pound weight and you try to lift it up and it's unbearable. I can't lift this. It's hurting me. And 7 friends come around. Right? Well, if we each take 75 pounds, here, I'll manage this, you manage that, you manage that, you manage that. We're all here with you. Let's lift this together. That's empathy. And that distributes the load, that distributes the energy mass, and makes it bearable by sharing it with empathy. Whether it's 7 people lifting a car off your body, whether it's 7 people chipping together to make sure you can pay the bill that will stop you from being evicted, whether it's 7 people grieving together and carrying the loss of your son. It's sharing the load. Blame and revenge is a dissociative numbing device. It's very fixated. They did this to me. It's their fault. They're bad people, and I'm going to get revenge. Well, it's a very, very targeted goal. It's a very narrow band of focus, and it can help manage. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to recover. I don't know how to respond. I don't know when this is going to happen next. I can't deal with this, right? Okay, we're not going to deal with any of that. All we're going to do is blame it all on this person or that person, and we're going to get revenge. And it's a form of empathy, or it's a form of belonging. Empathy is a voluntary belonging, but revenge is a mandatory belonging. And it goes something like this, right? I feel completely small and helpless. I feel overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I feel alone here. And the goddamn motherfuckers who set me up for this, they're walking away, right? And this is often where the revenge comes in. I don't know how to deal with this, and they're not helping out. So what am I going to do? I'm going to drag each one of them down into this place. Now, they don't know what to do. Now we're in this together, right? You see, it's the dark side of empathy. You're not going to dissociate from me and walk away. You're not just going to rape me, leave me in a confused place, unable to function, and walk away. You're going down. You're going to come into the terror, fear, and helplessness that I feel because of what you did and what you didn't do. So now there's also kind of sharing the load, right? I'm not alone here anymore, right? Because it's somewhat medicating the feeling that I'm all alone and it's somehow my fault. Well, now you're in pain and you're in pain and you're in pain. It's not all my fault, right? So blame and revenge, and also particularly revenge when you're overwhelmed and don't know what to do. Revenge can provide a focal point. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get revenge. I'm going to make them feel the way I feel. And for now, that's all I'm going to worry about, right? I don't know how to respond to this. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel. So I'm disintegrating as an identity, as a pattern of thinking, feeling, speaking, doing, being. I don't know what the new pattern's going to be. But revenge provides a target, a reason to get up, a reason to focus. Then there's distraction. There's hedonic flooding. So I'm going to have a chocolate cake, I have vanilla ice cream, I'm going to have hot chocolate, and then go on a roller coaster. I'm going to eat popcorn. I'm going to go up and I'm going to see the tallest building in the world. I'm going to jump out of a plane, right? This is hedonic flooding. Travel is another form of flooding because the brain turns off awareness of the things we're familiar with. When you go to work as a typical person using your mental map, you're no longer dealing with direct sensory experience. You're dealing with a mental map. You're not dealing with reality, you're dealing with your map of reality because you've already mapped it out. And because of this, you're lost in the map. You're lost in language. You created a set of words that describe all the things in your life, and you just track where you are on the map. Now I'm at home. Now I'm here, now I'm there, that's with that person, that's who that person is, that's who that person is, that's why I had that feeling, this and that. It's just a map, right? We're relating to our map of preconception based on the past experience. And we're using the map because it's more efficient than paying attention, right? We'd actually have to wake up and be present as if everything was new. But most of the time, most things stay the same. So if we just ignore reality and look at our map of reality, then most of the time it'll be accurate. It's good enough. And we can shut down 70, 80%. But if you travel to a brand new location, you don't have a map of that. And so you're much more engaged in your senses and you're focusing out there. And this is a distraction. I can hear its painfulness, but over there it's like, I've never seen one of those animals before. Let's look at that. And so it's a form of distraction to travel, watch a new movie, go to a new country, to travel. Compulsive behavior is another form of distraction. I'm going to work. I'm going to go jogging. I'm going to jog. I'm going to jog. I'm going to jog. Just jog, right? Just jog, right? And it's a distraction, right? If I just exhaust myself, doing this thing, then I can now distract myself with sleep, which is a form of dissociation. I can do compulsive behavior. I can also do compulsive thinking. I'm going to get this done. 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 And that masks the overwhelm. It becomes foreground for the consciousness, the repetitive loop thought, tunnel vision. All I need to do is get here. I need to get to my grandmother's house. I need to get to my grandmother's house. I need to get to my grandmother's house. Tunnel vision, right? As a way of distracting from the overwhelm and stuff that I don't know how to deal with. I just need to get to a safe place would be one way of putting it. Addictive substances. Alcohol, cocaine, marijuana, whatever, amphetamines, something that creates an intense stimulative experience that I can keep going back to avoid what I'm terrified of. I'm terrified of facing this arena. I'm terrified of running into my ex. I'm terrified of this. I'm terrified of that. I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to respond. I know how I should respond, but I don't actually know how to do it. I should just be cool and let them go. But I don't know how to do that when my body is reacting and having traumatic symptoms and doing. I don't know how to do that. So I need to do something that will divert my attention, that will distract my awareness to get through that arena that I cannot confront directly. So addictive substances of various kind, which can also include sleep. Sleeping too much, sleeping too little, etc. I'm just going to do something addictively. I'm going to watch porn addictively. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, until I absolutely can't think. Then I'll go to sleep and dissociate. Right? So I've managed the pain through distraction. Transference. I feel helpless. I feel small. So I'm going to humiliate my kid in public. He's going to burst out into tears, and then I'll take care of his feelings. I'm going to humiliate him to cause the feelings that I have that I don't know how to deal with in somebody else. And once they're transferred to somebody else, then I will respond to that rather than respond to my own feelings. I was feeling hurt and small, but now I feel powerful because I've made you feel hurt and small. And then I feel more powerful because then I helped you recover from the hurt and smallness that I triggered and then humiliated you about and then helped you recover from. So now I feel important again. And I've transferred the feeling. So I don't have to deal with it. Healing, making the situation better, right? I'm in pain, my arm's missing, right? It's missing. Used to be an arm here, it's laying on the road, my arm's missing. Making the situation better, calling an ambulance, getting to a hospital. Can there be any surgery? Can it be reattached? What about a prosthetic? Making the situation better. I lost all my money. What can I do? Can I get a job? Is there any insurance? Can I maybe take insurance out next time? Let me learn how I lost it all and then not do that again. Right? Maybe trading on 5x margin wasn't a good idea. Okay, no more of that, right? So making the situation better, restoring wholeness to the fragments would be another way of saying that. Healing. Transcendence, rising above or beyond the pain. So the ego identifies with the pattern, our pattern, thinking, feeling, speaking, doing, and being. I always buy this. I always eat this. I always think this. I always walk in this way. And the ego looks at that and says, that's me. I'm the pattern. I am the pattern. And when the pattern is traumatized, when the pattern is in pain, right? To traumatize a pattern, you shatter it. You threaten it. When a large energy collides with a small energy, the small energy goes flying. The small energy disintegrates, shatters, regresses. When 5 bullies beat up a frightened person, they feel 5 years old. They feel helpless. They feel small. The confidence, the courage, the planning they had, it's been interrupted. It's been broken. They no longer feel safe to walk down their own street. The pattern has been shattered. So the ego identifying with that pattern feels broken, feels shattered, feels devastated. And the ego has no response. I am broken. I'm not safe. I don't know what to do. I could move to another city, but what if it was worse? What if it happened there? I could stay in my house, but what if somebody broke in? what am I going to do with the rest of my life if I stay in my house? How can I go to work, right? So the ego doesn't know how to respond. But we are also the witness, the one who watches, the one who holds space for the ego. So when we focus on the witness with breath, with yoga, with sitting meditation, we are now present to the part of ourselves that is not broken. The witness cannot be broken. The ego can be shattered, can be traumatized, but not the witness. The ego can get so obsessive and compulsive that it blocks the witness. But if we can get in touch with the part of us that is more than the experience, that is more than the thoughts, more than the feelings, more than the judgments, more than the ego, more than the I identity, we can transcend the pain. Because above the pain, looking down at it, not identifying with it, there is no pain. There's just compassion for the ego that is in pain, either our own ego or another. Focus on a better future or a happy past. We're stuck here. We're hungry. We don't know when help is coming. Time is slow. We're starting to dehydrate. I feel helpless, right? We can focus on a future. I want to do this. I want to dream about that. I'm really looking forward to this, when we get back home. Or the past. I remember when I was 6 years old and we used to go fishing and this and that and the other. So you can, if there is nothing you can do in the present to improve the situation that is causing you pain, you can move your attention to the past or the future as a way of distracting or diverting attention from the pain in the present that you don't know how to respond to. Acting to reduce the pain, right? In any way. Right? You're sore, let me give you a massage. You feel terrified, let me reassure you. Reassure yourself, right? Get to a hospital. Do something to reduce your pain. Let's play the drums and get a rhythm going. Let's do something that creates more well-being. Now, sometimes we can't do that for ourselves, right? We've lost a leg, we've lost this, whatever. We've lost a loved one. We've lost a child. And it just kicking the shit out of us. It hurts. And we can't bring the child back. But out of that pain can come empathy, can come an awareness that we're not alone, that we're surrounded by children and by parents. And we're surrounded by accidents and death. And it can ease our pain to help a parent save a child, right? Our child didn't get enough medical care and died. So we give money to parents so they can afford medical care and save their child. There can be a sense of meaning, of purpose that comes out of transcending our own personal problem, to be of service to the problem in the cult, in the community, to bring more well-being into the world in the arena that we are in the most pain. I'm terribly lonely. I don't know what to do about it. But you seem lonely too. How can I help? How can I help? And as your loneliness decreases a little bit, it can ease our loneliness as well. Fulfilling our human needs is a good backup, right? Happiness equals the fulfillment of our human needs to survive, to feel secure in our survival, to experience love and belonging, to develop self-esteem, identifying our ideals, clarifying the principles, the pathways we will use to attain our ideals, and living up to those. My ideal is a world of trust and trustworthiness. My principle is I don't go out of my way to hurt someone. My principle is I always tell the truth. And I did that today. It was hard, but I did tell the truth and I didn't go out of the way to hurt someone. And so I'm proud of myself. That's self-esteem. Discovering what we're good at. I'm a great Imagineer. I'm a great designer. I'm a great figure out unusual ways to look at people's problems. And I want to develop that ability. And I want to help you do that here and help this person do that. I want to develop my talent and I want to bring value into the world abundantly. I want to create value for other people abundantly. I want to bring my talent into the world and create value, abundance. And I want to be part of something bigger than myself. I want to serve something greater than my identity. Right? Fulfilling our human needs reduces pain. Fulfilling our preferences, expressing our preferences, ends pain. Healing our illusion of separation from all that is heals pain. So, if in doubt, pursue your own human needs and then help others do the same. Grief and letting go. My child is dead. The ideal job has gone to a colleague. The company lost the funding and the competition is now thriving and this company is dead. We dreamed about it. We looked forward to it. We had plans. And now when I look at those plans, I feel pain. There's a huge gap, and it is worth mentioning what pain is. Pain is the separation from and longing for what we most desire. I want this, and it's getting farther and farther away from me. Sometimes, to heal pain, we have to let the dream die. I'm never going to play baseball with my son. I'm never going to ride horses with my daughter. I'm not going to see them grow up. They're dead. And the images that I am attached to, I was looking forward to that. I'm not going to grow old with my husband. He's left. He's dead. I want that. I need that. I want that. And it's not coming back. It's getting further and further away. It's causing me pain. There's nothing I can do about it. So after I deny it, after I bargain and after I lose my temper, after I try to be perfect, and they still don't come back, I'm going to let them go. I'm going to accept that they're dead. And with their death, the death of a company, the death of a dream, the death of a friendship, with their death, I lose an identity. I lose part of who I am. The pattern of thinking, feeling, speaking, doing, and being about them, about that plan, about that role, is dead. I'm attached to that plan. It's the only part of me that I really liked. It's dead. That pattern disintegrates. Making room for a new future, for a new identity, a new dream, right? To fixate on a dead identity, a dying identity. One day I'm going to play ball with my son. He's dead. But it makes me feel so good to think that thought. But it also makes me feel so far away because I can't do it. But I'm going to transmute. I'm going to reinterpret. I'm going to create a new identity. If I want to, I can play ball with my neighbor's kids, I can coach Little League, right? And now I can transfer to something that I can do. I can possibly have another child, form another relationship, right? I can learn about one of my hobbies, one of my talents, right? I can let the identity, the pattern of thinking, feeling, speaking, doing, and being go through the stages of grief and die. And I can consciously choose an identity, a dream that I believe I can get close to. Right? I can watch baseball on TV, can practice pitching on the pitcher's mound, maybe I'll meet someone, can join a local club, a local sports team, and find a new identity that is actionable, that I can integrate with. I can move on, meaning to form a new identity with an actionable portion of reality. And I can fiddle with it. Now, I don't like that team. I like this team. I don't like playing it in the morning. I like playing in the afternoon. And I can build an identity that is as close to my preferences as I am capable of doing, knowing that this world isn't perfect and it's not there to be perfect for me. Maybe no one wants to do this thing, and there's another disappointment, another grief. I wanted to do this, but they didn't show up. They weren't reliable. They drag it out. It's not working. It's not what I want. So now I'm going to try this identity, right? So the pain of lost identity, the loss of self, from losing a part of us that we really enjoyed and got to experience uniquely with a certain role, a certain job, a certain person. There's always a new identity, not the same, not as good as in every way, but better in other ways, different. I'm going to go in search of a dream that I'm excited about, that I can take action on, that I value. I'm going to give birth to a new relationship with a new part of my world. I'm going to love and tend and learn to love that part of me. And I'll let go finally, in the deepest sense of letting go, because I could not have who I am now if that had not died. So, how is this for you? You're responding to pain, reacting to pain at different levels. What are you using right now? What is working for you? What won't you do? Like, many people don't want to form a new identity because that admits the death of the old. And there's certainty, right? The more traumatized we are, the more we want to cling to the known. If you let something die and let something new form, you're going to change. The world is going to change, and that takes you into the unknown. In general, it's good to do what you can to bring the pain below this point. Move the pain down from unimaginable reactivity to the point where you can tolerate it. This is where anesthetics, dissociation, etc. can be useful in the short term. If you can't think, when we react to pain, we often make it worse, and so it becomes a spiral. I'm in so much pain that I become bossy and controlling, then everyone's angry at me, and then I'm in more pain, and I lose it, right? So you want to get your pain, in whatever way you can, down to a point where you can tolerate it. And then comes in the long term, with that toleration, you can think now. You can evaluate. You can start looking, where is the pain? Where is the gap between what I deeply desire and where I am? And how can I close it? Where am I in my stages of grief? What am I terrified of? What would I like to happen? What are my preferences? What needs of mine are not met? And how can I make a list and start doing something? Is there anyone willing to share some of my load, right? I can give you a level of pain so that I don't feel so alone, and so I feel like I can move, right? I can carry 200 pounds for a little bit. But 400 pounds, it's just going to destroy my body. I need help, right? So how are you doing with that? What's working for you? And are any of these ideas useful? Maybe you haven't tried synthetic jet lag by changing your sleep routine back and forth and have the flexibility to do so. It's probably better than passing out with a bottle of vodka, which similarly dissociative, right? More of a hangover, right? What's working? What's not working? Where are you stuck? And good luck.